I have confidence in the judiciary very seriously, that the judiciary cannot be fooled all the time. Let Okowa bring $1 billion every day. The judges that are in this matter obviously cannot be fooled, because at the end of the day, you don't want to do anything that you'll be laughed at. This is a final decision leg we have taken. And then talking about talking about being relaxed, you do not struggle with your houseboys, your drivers, your secretaries and cook. You don't struggle with them. I mean, they don't know what. I rose to become a minister in Nigeria, and I was the most searched human being to be a minister. When I finished as a minister, out of 42 of us, 41 was questioned, queried, and they refunded whatever they refunded. Nobody called me because my records are straight for everybody to see. So in an election such as this one, we made sure that who are the people who want to contest with us. And then we knew ab initio who they were, and we knew that they were not fit to contest election. Don't forget that I schooled abroad. Apart from the fact that I went to the University of Lagos to read law, I schooled abroad. So the entire intelligentsia in the world were either my classmate or my schoolmate or my junior or my senior by one, and we had that relationship. So it is easy for me to know and get to where I want to go anywhere in the world. So what I'm saying in effect is that we don't want to talk yet. We don't want to say so much yet. We have more than enough to tell the world. But I'm saying that the way it stands today, we believe that we are the governor of Delta State pending swearing in. Nothing can change that fact, given the documents we have. And you can go and read it. The public can go and look for it and read it. It's all there on the system. We cannot continue to do the same thing and expect a different result. We cannot expect to be the same people living in the same land space and expect that miracle will happen. It's like just going to pray to church. I mean, the church people are crying that if 92% of all the church in Delta State voted for me, what happened to their votes? You know very much that I went to all the Anglican church, I went to all the Pentecostal churches, I went to all the Baptist churches, I went to all the Catholic churches, I went everywhere. And I was not seen to do less than the governor with, quote unquote, the pulse of the state did. So the question is that, what happened to the vote? They just did what they did and allocated vote, and believing that allocating vote to me as number 5 was meaningful. It was very stupid, myopic, because I mean, I'd gone 3 million years ahead of them. I know where I was going. So whether you give me the 45th position or 46th position, for as long as these people have criminal records and they have not tendered it, and they swore to oath, that makes it even more serious. They all swore to oath. Go and find out the documentation we attached, that these things are true, but nothing but the truth. At the end of the day, they were lying. So they have 2 issues in their hand. One is that they are disqualified ab initio. 2, they will have to answer the perjurious leg of their conduct as citizens. And unless, I say this to you, you journalists should make sure you do what you need to do. Take, for instance, look at Trump. Trump was arrested the other day. I mean, it doesn't mean that Biden hated Trump. No. But he has a duty as a president to do due diligence. He has a duty as a president and all his team to do what is right. At the end of the day, they say, Trump, you gave money to cover up with a prom. If he comes to say, I did not give money, is there any problem? There's no problem. If he comes to say, look, I did not do all of these 30-something charges, and he has evidence to contradict it that he didn't do them, it's good. But the question is that it doesn't follow that I hate any of these 4 young boys or girls, as you call them. If they have documentation to say, no, I went to Huron and I got certificate from Huron, produce an evidence to that effect. If this man said, no, I was not taken to a mental school to try to rehabilitate me, as a result of which I can be readmitted into society as a full human being, say so. If you say you have a document that you did not change your date of birth 7 times differently, say so. And you say, oh, it's not cast in stone. Come. Then don't forget that I'm a petitioner here. I have said what I have to say. They have to reply, and I have a right of replying their replies. And then that's where I'll go out of, you know, the rail track and do what I need to do. So take it. America is cleaning their society not for themselves, but for children yet unborn. You know, that's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to tell Deltans, my fellow younger ones and, you know, senior ones, you know, don't come and tell me. Like, I find it very, very embarrassing. Some people come and say, you know what, the election don't hold now, and just let it be now. The acceptance of something that is not right will continue to bring another thing that is not right, another thing that is not right, another thing that is not right. So the state will be dead. That's where we are today. Oh, please. They send pastors, they send bishops, they send, name them. All manner of persons will come and talk to you. It's okay. So, it's okay. That's very stupid. That's why our parents never did that. That's the difference. With this irresponsibility today and where we find ourselves, we joke in the house and just make small abusive statements to ourselves as children. Our parents took us to the school to go and confess our sins. And, you know, my father was the founder of a CSC church. We never know that it will come to a time in our lives where human beings, adults as we call them, fathers as we call them, just say, just leave lie to lie, just leave thief to thief, just leave criminal. Not be small money thief from government. After government money not be your own. I'm not interested in all those kind of nonsense. I've never seen a kobo. I gave Okowa money to contest the election. I've never seen a kobo of Okowa before, nor a kobo of Delta State government given to me free of charge. Never. That is kind of discipline. And in any case, he cannot even dare to ask me to take government money, because I'll tell him that he's talking nonsense. It's not my money. I don't want any money that I did not work for. That's the reason why you see the peace I'm enjoying today in my life. You find it very shameful. Election has come and gone. The whole purpose why Okowa condescend with all the friendship, he was talking to me and looking at me eyeball to eyeball and calling me brother, my brother, my this, my minister, my dad, talking to me and calling God and using the Bible all the time. He went with his wife. I don't know how his wife is going to face God. Went with his wife to plan with Peter Mrakbo to say that I sent somebody to go and strip women naked. Strip them naked for what? How do a man with 6 daughters go and strip other people's daughters naked? But it's all political. All because he thought that will, you know, the plan was to demarket me. But have I been demarketed? It's not true. If all the church worked for me, as you can see, the videos and everything's everywhere, if everybody worked for me, he was going to make bad statement, you know. So when the Inspector General of Police confirmed with the CP that the wife had called the CP and told the CP that they have to get this going, they must get this man dealt with. They made all manner of approach. It's over. Even the people who carried the story in Arise, they have come to meet me. They've come to, you know, the money they paid was very huge. It was Okowa who was paying the money through Oguma to do what they did. So what I'm trying to say in effect is that you can go so much. They went to the extent, because they are afraid of my character and principle, they went so much to say that I have a lion in my house. That TB Joshua said so. TB Joshua came out on television to say he never said so. There was no such thing. But they won't buckle. They went so far to say that I do not pay salary. There's nobody that had worked for me. I even went to the television and said, anybody who has worked for me for so many, please produce the evidence. I'm willing to pay. That is how they went so low. And I was laughing at them when they were allocating the result that they should make sure I don't come second, because if I come second, if the court nullifies Sheriff, I will win. But little did they know that while you are planning to shoot a bird, the bird was planning to fly. I knew what I wanted. That's what has happened. And let them contradict the facts. I feel so sorry that I lost a brother. I lost a friend. I thought Okowa was a brother genuinely. I thought Okowa was a friend genuinely. That is the way he came. I mean, I don't have the capacity to pretend that long. I mean, I cannot even pretend, or no, could I be able to lie? So I assume that people should have the same measurement of character and mien with my person. So it's unfortunately that the senior sister used to stay here with me, used to stay in my Abuja house. That is how close we were. That's how close the father, as you know, has a video, the father prayed and said, look, you're the only man who can save the state and all of that. Like Okowa has told me several times, when I opened my plaza, he came and opened it. He says, look, you are the only person, you are the only Delta I've seen that can solve this problem for us. And if what's it called? If Udagan said the same thing, if all the pastors in this state said the same thing, if all the traditional rulers said the same thing, if all great men and NGOs and schools and hospitals, management, doctors, engineers and everybody say the same thing, then they must see something right in my person. So I'm saying, I have no business being annoyed with anybody, but I believe that I'll do a good job to turn the state around. And everybody who has good character, who believe that Delta is the only state they have and they are from Delta, should work hand in hand with me and produce result as I take over the state for purposes of governance.
Before I let you go on this, Okowa, you have said on several occasions that he stands as a brother and a friend. Having come this far, and you going this extra mile, do you not see that as affirmation of or continuation of enmity?
No, it's Okowa. There's no such thing. It's Okowa that is going to buckle. Everything that I've said, everything that I have made public, I believe in them. And I've only said about 15% of what I know, as opposed to the 100% of what I know. And that is because I still believe that he will come back to his senses someday and then go back to everything we have done and said. From the day he came to my house here, where I prescribed the UPU and said he should go as governor, from that day, Amori was a living witness, everybody was there, and all the way to what happened before he finished his first tenure and how he went to his second tenure, all the things he told me, if there was nobody there and there was no written evidence, God was there and there was a written evidence. I've not said anything a lie. As I've said to you, I've said only 15% of the 100% of what I know. And I'm still just looking at him that someday he will become more reasonable in his attitude and make sure that it doesn't work. I mean, they told him, for instance, and he believed that, what's his name? Atiku was going to win the election. That Atiku was going to win the election and he will be vice president, and after 18 months Atiku is going to die and he will become president. They told him that, and he believed it. That yes, it's the case, but now he has seen that that is not all correct. Atiku did not win. He's not a vice president. He will never be a vice president. And then do not forget, the seat he was aspiring to sit in council, in the Federal Executive Council, I have sat on those seats. I've been a member of the Federal Executive Council. I mean, that was why I had the privilege to create all those 13 universities across Nigeria and did what I did. So the question is that it was actually going to a place where I have been. So there's nothing attractive or me not wanting. No, that's not the case. The day I parted ways finally with him, when I realized that at that moment he has reached a destination of no return. My wife was at the meeting. He was there. Myself. They call him Apostle Eremulo. His childhood friend, because he called me one day, Lawrence Osiebu, he called me one day and said, look, in part of trying to marinate my head, he said Lawrence Osiebu is his childhood friend. In fact, they grew up like they are the same mother, even though they are not the same mother. But Lawrence does not seem to have, he did not give Lawrence a commissioner, but Lawrence is more powerful than any commissionership in the state. He said that to me. Now, so we were all in that meeting. So Lawrence Shebu was there, the Apostle Eremulo was there, my beloved wife was there, Okowa was there, and myself, 5 of us. And we went all and all, we were talking. Okowa denied. And you see, at that meeting, I was getting very worried myself. Everything we had discussed, everything we have done, everything that are black and white, Okowa denied everything. So I was looking at Okowa with so much shock. And if I tell you that what has happened through me and Okowa and the entire election that has just taken place, if I claim to be a wise man, I will rate myself that at that time I was wise up to 40%. But today, I'm about 174% wiser. Because I have seen more, I've understood life differently, I've understood why Deltans are where we are. And I now know what to do to further make Deltans human beings and greater person which they ought to be. We have been cheated, we have been deceived, we've been lied to, we've been trampled upon. That's why Delta is backward. And nothing is going to happen with this crop of people. Nothing is going to happen to them. So my position is this: let us wait for the great men, the jurists, to do their job, and at the end of the day we'll take their verdict and run with it. But I believe very certainly that Okowa has lost a brother. Okowa has lost a brother. Okowa has lost a friend, genuine at that. And when I told him, I said, Okowa, I said yes. I said, Okowa, I said yes. Okowa, 3 times. I said, you will hand over to me. He was just looking in a trance situation, like somebody who was taking trance, somebody's on that drug. He was just looking, and the apostle said, amen. So we communicated. And when we stood up, I said, my friend, go and clear your drunken state. You're not doing well at all. Because I don't know it any other way. I don't know how to say it any other way. I say the way it is. He had accused me one time to say that I'm too honest. I'm bluntly too honest. I should try and meander with situations that it doesn't cost anything. But that I'm too bluntly honest. He knew that. He knows that as I take over, he told me that you are the man who can repair it. So even if God were to come to ask Okowa face to face, if he fears God, because I believe he doesn't know anything about God, to say, who can turn this state around? Okowa will tell you that it's Gbagi. He will tell you that. Before God, he will tell you. And I believe very strongly that we'll get it right.
That says, looking beyond the election, the tribunal, and looking at a possibility of the courts giving judgments in your favor, a new Delta state for you, considering the fact that the amended constitution has some items moved from the exclusive list to the concurrent list, such as moving power, generation, transmission and distribution to the concurrent list, at the same time moving railway to the concurrent list. What would that portend to Delta State?
I think you should avert your mind to my campaign all the time. I've always known that we're going to remove railway from the exclusive list to the concurrent. I've always believed that. And if you go back to my clip, I've said that I was going to get railway to run through the whole of Delta State and beyond. I've said that it's part of my program, it's part of my itinerary, it's part of my manifesto. I've said that clearly. And with issue of generation of light, there's no way, if you remember, go back to my clip, there's no way we can go hand in cap looking for electricity and want to industrialize ourselves. So it's a good news for me with the kind of plan I have that Delta State before long will get to our destination.
And on a general sense, moving that, the much you know about administration and management in Nigeria, I know you've kicked against state police. How important is this in the concurrent list for states in Nigeria?
In the concurrent list?
Yes, sir. Power, railway.
No, but I've said power, railway is the only way to go. Is the only way to go if you must develop the state. I mean, you can't go anywhere. You cannot lock progress. You cannot lock industry. You cannot lock growth and say you are doing a good. No, it's not going to work. We are going to fail. So I'm saying categorically, the issue of power and railway, it's long overdue, and that should be taken. With regards to the police, I don't want to take what I cannot control or what I cannot bear its cost. Already, states are already having their transport people, some security arrangement and all of that. Let us continue and continue with it. If you take the issue of Okowa as a person, a state police will be a disaster. Given what Okowa did in this election, given what happened, give a man like Okowa the state police to run with. Where are you going to go? You're going to kill a lot of people. You're going to destroy the place. The state will be destroyed. So I'm not saying that in theory, state police would be a wonderful, and I should be a proponent of state police as a criminologist who schooled abroad and what have you. But I'm saying because of the mannerism of the people, yes, I can run a state police as a person because that's my training. That's what I came from. For instance, I give you my word, the issue of security in Delta State will be a thing of the past with moments after my, assumption of office, because I know what to do. I don't want to, I mean, for you to say you have a state, you cannot have a state where Shell is gone, all the oil company is gone, everybody is leaving your state. Anybody want to come here, ask for extra insurance. Say, for instance, if it's an expert who want to come here and the insurance you are supposed to put on their head is $1,000. If they are going to Rivers, they go. Without additional money, they go to Lagos, they go to other states. But they want to come here, they say need times 10 further insurance because this place is more riskier. And that is because they know whatever you do as a government, your commissioners and everybody, they know that you have a team of criminals as opposed to human beings. And they know the problem. So how do you want them to go? Nobody wants to invest here. All the investments have run away. People have gone. Nobody wants to come. Everybody is talking to me behind. Oh, Gbagi, we are praying for you to come. We still have our investment. We still have our land. Look at Niger Cat. Look at these people doing McDermott. Look at all this company. They are talking to me. Shell is talking to me. Oh, please come, please. We need you to come back to revive this state. Danjuma was talking to me. Everybody is talking to me. Look, please come and do it. We know you can do it. Come and do it. We know you can do it. So the burden and expectation is very high, I must tell you. In fact, the first 2 years were very severe for me as a person because they brought everything to ground zero. They cannot pay salaries anymore. As you know, they've not been able to pay salaries with all flimsy excuses. And if the man who says he's a medical doctor, who says he's a politician, a local government chairman, what do you call councillor, commissioner, cannot run his state. Are you with me? All you need to do is to put your brakes and put your mechanisms in place. This state is the best state in Nigeria, the richest in Nigeria, richer than 42 countries in the world, and all you need is an entrepreneur-minded person to turn it around. But none of them in that picture, you see all of them, none of them is telling you what they want to do. They are telling you how to rely on this small money you can make in local government times 10 a month, how they want to share it and how they want to divide, because they don't have any skill. No skill. And why would you take the risk? Why would you take the gamble with your children yet unborn and say you want to go? No, it doesn't make sense to me.
Lastly, sir, before I let you go, we've seen spate of activities in political parties before, during and after this election. We've seen series of suspensions, series of anti-party activities inherent in this space and time. How will you address this same issue of criminality and indecency in public service as it affects political parties?
You see, let me tell you, you have only one person and the narrative changes. All over the world is the same. It has happened here. You have Murtala Mohammed as president of Nigeria. And the same Nigerians, conformed. And behavior was excellent. Character was good. Nigerians, and Delta inclusive, are people, if you claim to be a leader, lead them well. Show leading example. And they will follow. The problem we have is that you say you are a governor. Before you became a governor, you have no house. 1.5 years into your governorship, as you have 45 houses. They know you're a criminal. So they want to beat your record. Nobody says that of me today. I mean, they knew before I became a minister, I'm still living here. This is my house, 30-something years ago. 34 years ago, I've been here. You know what I own? I have an account, evidence, checkbook, and they know. Okowa knows, he discusses with me. He says, you are too thorough. You are such a clean man. They know that I have record of everything I own and I have in my life. And when they couldn't see anything to latch on, like what these 4 people, you know, that a host of people, but these 4 that they came out to say they want to contest the election, by that arrangement, they say, search me. You want to contest the election to rule people, millions of people. It means you are subjecting yourself to them to find out who wants to be their leader. I present myself. Any question from anywhere, any wall, I'm ready. Search me. That's the whole attitude of somebody who wants to be a governor. Look at Como in New York, if you remember. Como misbehaved. Just that singular act of messing around with that woman, it was brought down. That is society for you. This society must be brought back to work and understand and believe in themselves. As I intend to clean up the mess, look at the level of debt I'm going to pay. I have no choice. But we will not continue to do more debt. And I'm not going to leave debt to people who is going to take over from me. The question is that people without character took over governance. And that's why we are where we are. We can't pay salary, we can't pay pensions, we can't pay gratuity, we can't pay anything. Whereas this ought to be a state paying pensions and gratuity and even adding more money hasn't come from a blessed state. So we need a total turnaround, we need a total rebirth, we need to change it positively for the good and greatness of the people called Deltans. As I've told you, when I told people that I was going to give Nigerians more university in every state of Nigeria, they didn't say it, but I did it within 3 months or 4-6 months before I finished it. Every state in Nigeria today has a complement of a federal university, a polytechnic, and a college of education. That's my own creation. I took that memo to council. Now, as I've said that I'm going to give every Deltan 30,000 each who are not employed, and I'm going to give them job, then they will take their job and I remove them from the 30,000 naira lagis. I meant it. I'll start it from June the 1st. I meant it. I've said that no pensioner, nobody finishing his job will go home without getting his gratuity, pension and money before he leaves the last day. And the ones that have been accumulated, I think this is, some people say from 2014 or 2016 as the case may be, we start paying them so much every month to liquidate them. It is a criminal offense. That's why I do not understand. Okowa gave all of them, that's an inducement, gave all of them 10,000 naira to bribe them 2 days to election. They are not fools. You've never done it in 7 years since you became a governor, and you bribe, that's corruption. That is in the electorate itself a criminal offense. For you to give every single civil servant in Delta State 10,000 naira. For what job? Have we gone to a welfare state? And why haven't you done it before? Of course, it was to induce them to vote for him. Now, they have voted. If they did, even though these numbers of elections are allocated, you cannot pay them salary. They are in a bigger mess because the state purse is dried. And of course, given what has happened now, I wish he respect himself not to dare to take another loan. It is not all that glitters that is gold. It's not all food you put your mouth to eat. And I've told the banks never to grant any loan again. Never. Let us contend with the fact that we have to pay those loans and never to take more loans, because what will you take loan for now? To do what? To build what? To develop what? The bank have a responsibility for them to issue a loan to follow up that money is utilized for the purpose for which it was borrowed. So the people don't just get into a mess the way we are getting into, we've already started getting into. So I believe very strongly that Deltans are happy. If I tell you, I've received over 7,000 calls just since yesterday, text message and calls as to people rejoicing that they thought that I had forgotten it and they were crying in their souls that I actually went to the tribunal. Everybody rejoicing. And today the judiciary will do justice to that matter. Delta State will go agog, because for the first time they would have been liberated. When God told me to use the word liberation, he meant it. I'm going to liberate the state. Whether you like it or not, we need to do things differently.
Thank you so much. I will look forward to seeing how most of this pans out.
And thank you very much for this opportunity.